Echoes of the ancestors. In a time before the storm, there was a village, full of life, laughter, and the rhythm of the earth. It stood at the heart of the land, where rivers whispered secrets, and the winds carried the voices of ancestors. This was a place of unity, where every face told a story, and every heartbeat was a drumbeat of tradition. But the peace of this village masked the shadows creeping closer. Whispers had begun to travel from village to village. Whispers of strangers who did not come to trade, but to take. Whispers of iron chains and ships as vast as mountains. The elders spoke of omens, a blood-red moon hanging in the sky and strange tracks found on forest paths. But it was the seer who first saw the truth. I see chains, chains that bite into flesh. I hear cries, cries that tear through the wind. They are coming. Fear began to take root, but what could they do? Their spears were strong, but against what? Against whom? The spirits themselves seemed restless, their whispers growing louder as the days passed. And then it came, the night the village would never forget. The ancestors tried to warn them. The wind howled through the trees, carrying voices of those long gone. But it was too late. Shadows fell upon the village like a plague. Families were ripped apart. Mothers held their children as tightly as they could, only to have them torn from their arms. Fathers fought with all they had, but spears were no match for the guns and chains of iron. The spirits of the ancestors rose that night, their spectral forms glowing faintly in the darkness. They wailed in agony, their voices echoing through the trees like a mournful wind, desperate to shield their descendants. But even they could not stop what was to come. The invaders moved with ruthless precision, their iron chains and weapons scudding through generations of heritage. The roots of the village, its people, its stories, were being pulled from the earth, leaving behind a void where laughter and life once thrived. As the last cries faded into the night, the village fell into a haunting silence, the ancestors' grief lingering in the air like an unbroken lament. Some young villagers escaped, leaving behind the elderly and children. Few hid in the forest, terrified, tears streaming down their faces. They looked up to see a ghostly figure pointing toward a tree covered in glowing symbols. Guided by a spirit, beneath the ancient tree they found a carving, a message from the ancestors. The chains will break, but the scars will remain. The boy whispered a vow to the spirits, "We will not be forgotten." Folks, this was only the beginning. The echoes of the ancestors have much more to tell. Will you listen? Join us for the next chapter of Echoes of the Ancestors and uncover the stories the winds still carry.